The key term here is youth, because the youth is coming. You got the NBA draft that's coming up this week. You have Lucy Liu, who's an 11-year-old female at the U.S. Open, is here to stay. And you also have Miami recruited a 9-year-old, women basketball player, 9-year-old, to join their team. They're already recruiting so young, so the youth is here. And speaking of Miami, LeBron, obviously, opt out. And apparently there's already been reports that LeBron, he was unhappy with Heat's owner because he felt like he didn't spend too much money on the bench. He felt they could have had a better bench. All they did was sign Greg Oden, something like that. Maybe they can get Matt Leinart because Matt Leinart honestly balled in the Drew League. But how dare LeBron call the Heat's owner cheap? He spent all that money on the big three. What you expect? That's the point of having a big three. So if anybody's cheap, it's the Oakland Athletics owner and the general manager, because they apparently traded a left-hand pitcher for $1. This is the BS Podcast Show. I'm your host, Brandon Fryer, a.k.a.
The Fry Guys.
Welcome to another edition of this BS Podcast Show. Like I said, I'm your host, Brandon Fryer, a.k.a. The Fry Guy. I don't got my A team with me today, but I got just one better. He ain't the B team. He's pretty much completing the whole A team. Like I said, Mike couldn't be here, Danae couldn't be here, but I got my man, this is family right here. Valmond Martin's in the building, representing San Diego. Val, what up, man? How you feeling?
How you doing, folks, man? I'm feeling good, man. Feeling pretty good.
This man's from all over, man. He's from the West Coast, but just tell him some of the cities that you been, live, visit. I mean, you just from all over, man. I call you man. International Val. You International Val.
You know, man. I was a military brat growing up, so I've been everywhere. Brooklyn, New York, stand up, Brooklyn. Paul Pierce, hold it down. I've been to Louisville, Kentucky, man. I'm a big Cards fan. I'm all about the NCAA, man. I'm all about the Louisville Cardinals. I've been to El Paso, Texas, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and you call it, I've been there, man.
Been there everywhere. What would you say is your expertise in which sport? Are you more football, basketball, college, or a certain team?
Well, Brandon, man, my first sport was basketball. Got my game from John Starks of the New York Knicks. If you don't know who that was, he used to lock your boy Jordan up. Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned basketball because that's a great segue because on this edition, we're going to be talking about a lot about basketball. We got the NBA offseason, which is pretty much big with LeBron opting out. We're going to get into that. We're going to play some games. Since I got special guests here, we're going to play a couple of games. We're going to play Max or Nah. And we're going to, BS around. We're going to do the supersize my fries. We're going to make some bold predictions. Me and Val, we're going to predict what free agents out there in the NBA, what teams do we think they should go with or where do we think they're going to go? So we're going to get into that. Before we get into any of that, though, let's get you caught up with this BS update. And let's start off in the NFL. As the Falcons traded for quarterback TJ Yates from the Texans for linebacker Akeem Dent. The Jaguars released ex-Pro Bowler defensive end Jason Babbitt. The Packers running back Jonathan Franklin announces his retirement due to a neck injury. The Patent Office cancels their trademark of the Washington Redskins, which means pretty much anybody can make names now out the Redskins. It's not officially there, so anybody can make it. A report's been coming out that is a ruling for Ravens running back Ray Rice that his suspension should be coming soon. The Chiefs and Pro Bowl cornerback Brandon Flowers agreed to a one-year deal. The Bears signed five-time Pro Bowler safety Adrian Wilson. There's also been a report that Mike Pouncey will be out at least 3 months due to a hip surgery. In soccer, Hope Solo was arrested for domestic assault. Brazil and Mexico advanced from Group A. The Netherlands and Chile advanced from Group B, and Uruguay just advanced as well. In golf, Tiger is set for his return at the Quicken Loans National Congressional Country Club this Thursday. And Michelle Wie wins the first major in her career at the Women's U.S. Open. In the MLB, Tulu and Jose Batista were named the home run derby captains for this upcoming All-Star weekend, or pretty much All-Star week or festivities, whatever you want to call it. In the NCAA, Cincinnati signs their head coach to a 7-year extension. Kentucky signs a $210 multimedia rights deal. I mean, they just cashing it in right now. And in the NBA, Tim Duncan exercises his option, so he's opting in, so he's going to remain with the Spurs for at least one more year. LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony opts out of their contract. The NBA announced that they're going to move the logos that used to be on the front of the jersey. They're going to move it now to the back. Isaiah Austin, who is diagnosed with a career-ending medical condition. This guy was a potential late first round, early second round pick. He's now done in the NBA. Sam Mitchell, former Timberwolves head coach, is back with the Timberwolves. He's joining the coaching staff of Flip Saunders as their assistant. Joel Embiid will be out 4 to 6 months after a foot surgery, and Rudy Gay exercises his option to opt in with the Sacramento Kings. So let's stay in that mode of the NBA, and let's get caught up in our first quarter.
That's big news.
All right, we're going to talk about some NBA offseason, and we're going to play a game. It's called Supersize My Fries. Of course, play off my name. I'm the fry guy. So, of course, Supersize My Fries is where we make bold predictions, where we think what NBA free agent, where is their possible destination that we pick. So I'm going to throw some names out there. Val's going to give you some. I'm going to give you some. We're just going to go from there. First name, obviously the biggest name of all, LeBron James. Val, where do you think you got him? Where you got him?
LBJ.
This is, by the way, this is Val's favorite player. Like, this man, I remember when he got drafted, he was with Cleveland. This is when Val was living in Cleveland. I thought he was just a Cleveland fan. He's a LeBron fan because he roots for the Heat. And you know me, I've said I've been a LeBron hater, but of late of this show, I've been really saying, like, you know, we need to stop with this LeBron hate. And
gotta stop it, man.
Yeah, of course, this is a LeBron fan, so of course he gonna hit that. So, okay, LBJ, let's get back to the game. LBJ, where do you got him?
Well, Brandon, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That first decision he made to surprise Cleveland and leave and go to South Beach, that was a surprise, right?
Right.
People think he's gonna go back to Cleveland.
Right. Are you one of those?
This guy's all about surprises, man.
Okay.
I find this man on the stage, the main stage, Madison Square Garden.
With Phil Jackson running the team. Derek Fisher coaching.
The team, man.
You think, okay, you going with that. Before I even give my answer, since you said that, what about Melo? Where do you got Melo?
Melo has to go.
So you say Melo out, LeBron in.
Melo has to make a transition. I mean, he's comparing himself to the greats, and he hasn't even made it to that top level of competition. Yeah, he's doing his thing in the regular season. I cannot say anything bad about that man. But he got to step up the rest of his skills. He's a scorer. He's not going to get it done in New York right now.
Where do you got him going then? What can make his career better? How can he reinvent his career or add some success to that career? Add some championships. Where do you got him going?
Prior to the big media outbreak of his relationship with Noah, Joakim Noah, the Chicago Bulls, he was reaching out to Noah. I think he has a spot in Chicago.
So you got him with the Bulls.
He hasn't answered his text as of lately. Why? Because I think now he knows that the jig is up.
Yeah.
I see him going to the Bulls.
Okay. So to play off yours, I got LeBron James staying with Miami.
Yeah.
I really think he's going to stay with Miami. I think he surprised you with this. I think he's going to stay with Miami. I just think he's just trying to cause a stir. He earns that right to be a free agency, but I feel like he's going to stay right back with Miami. And I think he's going to bring some friends, which we're going to get into. But with Melo, this one's tough because he fits so perfectly with the Bulls, and I feel like that is the right move.
And he
the
cannot
Bulls.
stay in New York. He cannot.
I definitely don't think he's staying in New York. But right now, if I'm predicting, I'm gonna have him. This is tough.
It is.
Man, this is getting tough. I want to say the Bulls, but I'm starting to lean now more towards. I'm starting to lean towards Miami. I think he's gonna join LeBron and they're gonna reinvent this big three. There's already been reports that they want to play together down the line, and I feel like this is the time if y'all are talking about it so much. LeBron, Anthony together in South Beach. You know, he got Lala, friends with LeBron's wife, D Wade's wife, and all that. And that's what I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna step ahead of you. Dwayne Wade is the other big three. I feel like he's gonna stay in Miami.
Ooh, so Bosh out of there.
I got Bosh out and switch that. Bosh, I'm gonna have Bosh going to
Texas kid, remember?
Texas kid. So I got him going. I know the Rockets been trying to make this push. I got him going to the Rockets.
Wow.
They need like a stretch four. So if Bosh is out of Miami, now they could just re-up and have this big three there. But if I'm predicting, I'm going to say Bosh goes to the Rockets.
Wow.
Be that stretch four with James Harden. They can make some trades, get a Sheik out, Lynn out. You got him stretching out the floor because they say Dwight needs to play with a stretch four. Bosh is reinventing his game to a stretch four.
That is true.
Texas kid, him, Howard, Harden, they could still be a problem in the West. Where you got Wade going?
I really do think Wade's heart is in Miami.
Okay.
That's where he introduced himself in the game, got a ring with Shaq, told the people they were going to do it, held to his promise. LeBron promised 6 rings. I think D-Wade's going to stay.
What about Bosh?
Bosh is out of there. Bosh is out of there.
Okay. So even with that, with your predictions right now, you said LeBron, you got LeBron in New York, you got Melo in Chicago, you got Bosh. Where do you have him?
Now remember, these are bold predictions.
Right, yeah.
The reason I have LeBron in New York is only because he's all about the surprise factor.
Okay.
Bosh, that's a good question. Who needs a stretch 4 right now? I got to go with your prediction. Because you know what? We talked earlier, and you said Houston needs to step up their defense.
Yeah.
Bosh can bring that to
Bosh is an underrated defender. Very underrated defender. Okay. One name I'm going to add in there real quick because we're pressing time for this part. Chandler Parsons.
Chandler. You know what? I honestly saw Chandler Parsons making a run for Miami. Why? Simply because, have you seen his level of play step up when he plays against Miami Heat? When he has to guard LeBron James? When he has to face up against Bosh? When he has to stop D-Wade? That kid, first of all, Florida Gator, by the way. Mm-hmm. That kid wants to be back at home.
Okay. The fact that he's a restricted free agent, I'm going to have him stand with the Houston Rockets. But to add on to what you're saying, I did predict Bosh kind of like going to the... In order, if you're going to keep Chandler Parsons, he's signing a bigger deal. Now he got money on the books. If you could do a sign and trade, say Bosh goes to Houston, and you say send Chandler Parsons to Miami, I see Chandler Parsons with the Rockets right now, but later down the line, he could be a potential trade piece. Later, and I can see that going with your pick. Maybe Miami, if I say Chris Bosh, going to maybe do a sign and trade because Bosh can't just sign that outright. Miami got to the Rockets got to make some moves in order for that to happen.
Do you consider Parsons the third scoring option?
Right now, for the Houston, he got to be because there's no one else really there who could be the third scoring option. Down the line, do I see him as right now, I say he's that third, fourth scoring option to me. I feel like he's very underrated and undervalued.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think third option that's his calling. All right, let's do this one real fast. I'm just going to throw some names out. You just tell me the city because we press it for time. You just tell me the name of the city. Andrew Bynum. Where do you see him?
Nowhere. Who wants an Andrew Bynum?
That's okay. I got you.
Philadelphia.
You just named Philly, just to name a team.
Philadelphia.
I'm agreeing with you. Bynum nowhere. Unless, only team I can see him with, Lakers, if they give him another shot. But on the bench, not starting because Lakers need something. Lakers need some help. Paul Pierce, where you see him?
Paul Pierce, Laker.
I say Clippers.
We
both got the LA Connect.
The LA Connect.
And I like. And they could probably get him for the cheap. Mm-hmm. Have him as small forward. They need help at small forward.
Lakers need some bench players. Mm-hmm.
Kyle Lowry.
Who wouldn't want a Kyle Lowry?
Kyle Lowry balled this year.
Oh my goodness. Who wouldn't want New York?
That's a good pick. For me, this is tough. If they keep the original big three intact, they need point guard. Kyle Lowry, if they take a little less, Maybe Miami.
So everybody can go to Miami.
I'm just saying. No. I'm not saying it like. I mean, I'm saying with the big three, they took less before. They can take a little less and maybe add a Kyle Lowry on their team.
So we're gonna get rid of Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers.
Norris Cole is gonna stay on the team. Mario Chalmers is gone. He's gone. He's a free agent. He's gone. Another name, Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward. You know what? Keep him where he's at.
Okay. Same thing. Vince Carter.
Ooh. Vince Carter off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Miami needs to build a bench. I hate to keep saying Miami, but I mean, my goodness. Look what they've built. Everyone wants to play.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, the NBA vets, at the end of their careers, they need that ring. I could say some type of contender. Any contender you can name. You can name Miami.
Or Indiana.
Yeah. Indiana, Miami, LA, the Clippers, not the Lakers. Any team. Maybe reuniting in Canada, but I don't know.
Well, we know Indiana's going to let go of Stevenson.
I think so, too. Speaking of that, Stevenson. Where do you see Stevenson going? Last one.
New York. That's where he's from, baby. That's where he's balled.
That's a good one. I just don't think New York got the cap right now for him. So I'm gonna say one team that y'all need to look out for: Charlotte.
Oh.
Charlotte Hornets. Mike, and LeBron got that little beef a little bit back and forth. Stevenson and LeBron got that beef. Charlotte's a couple of pieces away from really competing. Kemba Walker stepped his game up. Al Jefferson balled for them. Arguably should have been an all-star last season. You add a Lance Stevenson on there, Charlotte's on their way.
You know what? I like that. I like that prediction, and I want to retract one of my predictions.
Go ahead.
Kyle Lowry, Sacramento Kings. Rudy Gay's going to stay.
That, you know what? They need a point guard. Isaiah Thomas might be gone. That is a good one. Next quarter. Val already said that he got Melo going to the Bulls. With Melo going to the Bulls, there's already been a report, Val said it earlier, that Noah and Melo have been talking to each other. Noah been trying to get him to come to Chicago, but he hasn't been returning the calls. Also, Melo opted out. They already been a report that the Bulls haven't even offered a sign and trade type of deal to already start the groundwork for that. A sign and trade, maybe throw a Boozer or a promising young player, maybe a Taj or a Jimmy Butler, some draft picks. They haven't even talked about the groundwork. And then there's been a proposed trade for Kevin Love. So then and the proposed trade is Taj Gibson, I think Tony Snell, maybe the kid from overseas, but I know it's like a couple of first-round draft picks as well. With that being said, and we don't know if they haven't accepted it yet. With that being said, if we don't get Love or Melo, then we got to go for that constellation prize again, like we did 4 years ago when we missed out on the big three and we settled for Carlos Boozer, Cal Korver, Ronnie Brewer, and those boys. You've already been hearing the reports of the constellation prize. We're going to bring over the kid from overseas. There's already been a report that they're trying to trade up to get Dougie McBuckets. Then they're trying to get Aaron Aflalo on their team. Then you've been hearing reports about them maybe want to sign Lance Stevenson if they don't get that. But people already been knocking, saying that if they don't get these players because it's such a big market, this city is just Milwaukee with big buildings. That's all it is. But reason why they not coming, it's the management. If you look at the history through the Bulls, it's always been the management. John Paxson and Gar Forman. John Paxson, the same dude who choked out his coach one time, Vinny Del Negro, for playing Noah too many minutes. The same guy who wants to fire or probably don't want to be with Tom Thibodeau because he feel like he's running his players through a wall, but he's been the best coach that we had for since Phil Jackson. So it's the management. The reason I want to come there is because of the manager. And it's the same one, the owner of the Bulls, the same person who didn't want to pay Michael Jordan $30 million, even though he was the best player in the NBA. So the reason why players don't want to come there is how they treat their players and their coaches there. That could be the reason why. It's the management. It needs to be said. Let's get into halftime. It's halftime. We're going to get into a thing. Me and Val got him here. We talk all the time. We talk about what we're going to do in 5 years from now, the future, and what we're going to do, all that. 5 years from now, we both see ourselves being very successful. But with that being said, we're going to talk about some things that we also see 5 years from now. Kevin Hart, right now, best comedian in the game. 5 years from now, 2019. Val, is he still the best?
Nah. Comedy's changing, man. Got to give it to one of these kids on YouTube these days, man. Comedy's evolving.
I'm going to give it to Lil Duval. President, who you got?
Andrew Cuomo.
I'm going to give it to Hillary Clinton. Okay, best rapper. Who you got? I'm still gonna give it to. I think Kanye's still gonna be relevant. I think he's still gonna be top dog.
That was a joke, by the way, man. You gotta give it to your boy.
You gotta change.
You gotta give it to your boy Drake, man.
Drake, that's a good one. I was gonna say Drake too. And then last one, NFL. Is it gonna be a team in LA or Europe in the next 5 years?
Canada.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that one. You blew me with that one. That is a good one. Buffalo moving. I can see that one. If not, I see a team in Europe before LA. Let's get back into the quarter. We're going to play a game off my boy T.Y. Dollar Sign. Since he got the dude from the West Coast. He's the West Coast thing. We can do that or not, but it's going to be max or not. You just say max or not. Here we go. The names. Kawhi Leonard. Is he a max player or not?
Max.
Okay. Kyrie Irving.
Max.
Okay. Klay Thompson.
Or nah.
Okay. Eric Bledsoe.
Or nah.
You know what? I agree with every single one of y'all. That's why I didn't even argue with you or even go back with you. I agree with every one of y'all. I'm like, Kawhi Leonard max, Kyrie Irving max, Klay Thompson, Eric Bledsoe. Nah, not really. Not yet. Maybe I got to see more of your game next quarter. It's time for my favorite segment. It's called Your Ish. So where you send me questions via Twitter at this BS show, and I answer them right here on this segment. Like my man at Who You Got, Bro, and he said, who you got in the Wimbledon? So tennis Wimbledon's up. I ain't really into tennis. I'm gonna keep it real with you, but I mean, the obviously favorite is Serena Williams. I don't think no one's gonna complain.
That bat.
That's an obvious choice. Valmond even agreed with me. He agreed with something else, but that's what he agreed with me with. Next one, at Who They All Over, ask me, will the U.S. advance to the knockout round? And will this do well for America? Of course it would do well for America if the U.S. advanced to the next round. I do got the U.S. advancing to the knockout round. I do think they will advance. I think Germany and USA got a little wink-wink deal. So I definitely believe it's going to happen. And, of course, it would do well. They made it last World Cup. I was about to say last year, but last 4 years because World Cup's every 4 years. So, of course, I believe they're going to make it. Next up, this is the homie right here. At Live in Stereo. My homie Steve said, besides doing the bottom half of your top 10, give us numbers 20, 17, 15, 13 this week. Okay, of course, you know I'm doing our 2014 BS top 50 NBA players right now. And I'm about to give you number, from what he said, 20, 17, 15, 13, and 11. So number 20, I got Anthony Davis. Reason why he's top, the only reason why I don't got him higher, he's got the potential to be a top 5, top 10 NBA player right now. The reason he's hurt and the Pelicans, I was about to say the Hornets, the Pelicans are not really going nowhere right now. They got the roster to do it, but they just haven't all stayed healthy. They haven't all gelled together. Number 17, I got LaMarcus Aldridge. This man showed you that he is pretty much the best power forward in the game right now. But I had to pause with that because Blake Griffin's right there. But he's right there. The man balled. If you saw him against the Houston Rockets, you saw what this man can do, especially when he's in the playoffs. Number 15, Russell Westbrook. The only reason why he slid down to this point, sometimes he has a bad game, and then other times, he was hurt during the season, but when he's on, he's on. You saw what he was doing against Spurs. He was really the main reason why they was holding on to that. Kevin Durant did his thing, but Russell Westbrook was the key. Number 13, I got Damian Lillard. The man has showed up. He's everything I want Derrick Rose to be, hopefully, if he stays healthy, because that man got a shot. That man is pure clutch. The man called it. Valmond even said, I called it when that game happened. He's like, yo, 0.3 seconds, that man about to pop it, do the game winner. The man did it. And number 11, he just edged out because his team just can't stay in the playoffs consistently, and that's Dirk Nowitzki. I got him number 11. Even though they got the right pieces, I think Monte Ellis is a nice piece with Dirk. They gel well together. Jose Calderon is perfect for that team. They need a small forward over there. Maybe a Luau Deng adding there, and then that can move him up. They would be a nasty one. Maybe bring back, they need a better defensive center too, to kind of complement with Dirk. Maybe try to bring back Tyson Chandler. Samuel Dalembert is all right, but Tyson Chandler is actually way better than him. So you can check out my whole, from number 20 to 11, you can check it out on my Tumblr page. That's the FryGuyBS.tumblr.com. My BS play of the game goes to LA Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw. The reason why, because this past Wednesday, he threw his first no-hitter of his career. He's obviously the best pitcher right now in the game in the MLB. He had a perfect game going through the 8th inning, and he did it against the Rockies, which is a great hitting team. The man did this only on 107 pitches. I mean, that's crazy, especially how baseball is pretty much abusing these pitchers' arm. In fact, he did that in only 107 pitches. He didn't need 140, 130, 107 pitches. So that's why he is this week's BS Player of the Game. My Full of Bull award goes to the Washington Redskins. I told you in the report that, the patent office canceled their trademark, deal. So now anybody can capitalize off the name Redskins. But here was their statement. They said the ruling will have no effect on them using the logo. They also said that they are confident that they will prevail from this. The reason why it's Full of Bull, I know it's part of tradition and history, but the name is offensive. Some people are saying that's like calling a team the Washington N-words. You pretty much, Redskins is offensive to Native Americans. Just, you shorten your name and call yourself the Skins. Just say the Washington Skins. Or, go on my Tumblr page, thefryguy.bs.tumblr.com. I got all potential name options on there. And also go on my Tumblr page. You can check out, like I said, the rest of number 20 to 11 of our 2014 top 50 NBA players right now. Also got the photos of this week, and you want to know what the top athletes are eating before they pregame meals? If y'all into that stuff, we got videos of every athlete from LeBron James, Serena Williams, Peyton Manning. See what they eat before games. Usain Bolt, you can't believe what he eats before the pregame, before the big event, I should say. Also, go on our Twitter page at This BS Show. Send us your questions so I can answer them for your ish. Also, subscribe to our YouTube page. Just type in This BS Podcast Show and you can find us there. I'd like to thank everybody who supported this show. I'd like to thank Valmond, man, for being here, special guest. I want to thank 2 people who couldn't be here, but they always a part of the BS, my A-team, Mike Howard, Danae. I also want to thank Angela Lewis, Devin Washington, Lawrence Holmes, my man Jonathan Hood, the Game family. You guys, the listeners, for listening, give me your feedback and give me all your support. I appreciate it. Remember, life is a game, so play hard all 4 quarters. This has been another edition of This BS Podcast Show. I'm your host, Brandon Fry, the Fry Guy. Got the homie Val here in the building.
Thanks for having me, baby.
No problem, man. No problem. Hope you come back again, man, because I appreciate it, man. You really threw in some interesting things on me that kind of blew my mind a little bit. Kind of threw me for a loop.
Hey, we in here.
We in here. So I'm about to get up out of here. So 2 fingers in the air. Peace. I see you next week, man. Actually, I'm not going to see you next week. I'm going to see you this week later on, matter of fact, because I'll be doing a special NBA draft edition of This BS Podcast Show. My man Val's going to help me out a little bit with that. We're going to get into that. So we'll actually see you Thursday for another edition of This BS Podcast Show. So I'm up out of here, man. Peace.
Hey, man. What I was going to say? Oh, man, what was that Mexican handshake you just gave me, man?
What Mexican handshake?
That's the Mexican handshake.
What Mexican handshake?
That's the Mexican
handshake. Man, you act like I hang out with Mexicans like that.
They do that out here?
No, they don't do it. I don't know what they do out here. You act like I'm down with gangs.
No, not gangs. That's the Mexican. I'm in California.
Well, okay. Well, hey, I ain't know.
Bye-bye. Tripping. I'm out of here anyway. Peace out.